Yeah, hi everybody. Ryan back here with you again. Today I am out here north of Klamath Falls in Oregon. Headed up to Portland tomorrow morning. Got a short load out of Sparks, Reno, Nevada. Going up there, right around the Portland area. It's paying pretty well. Like on the low boys, like almost 460, I believe, 457 or something like that. So it was uh, for 550 miles or so. I believe it was like 2,700 on the gross side, give or take. I can't remember exactly. So we had that load took out of Ohio that we brought out here, or actually it went out to down by Carson City, Gardnerville, to the Tesla hazmat place down there. Grabbed that out of Pennsylvania last week, and left out Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night to come out here. Got out here in 3 nights, or should say down to the Carson City area. Got down there in 3 nights. Made pretty good time. Uh, did get a ticket, speeding ticket. Didn't even make it to my trailer Friday night. I left out about 9 o'clock at night, and got on the Ohio Turnpike and was getting off at one of the exits, and actually there was a long. I was up there by Streetsboro, right around the 187 or so. It's one exit 187. Uh, it's 3 lanes up there, the Ohio Turnpike, I-80, and was in the center lane. There was a line of 3 trucks that I was passing. I had about 2 miles to my exit. So I was roughly at the one. I'm trying to think which way the exits go. So I was like at the 189, I guess, 190-ish up there. So was coming around 3 trucks. I was like running, it's 70 mile an hour up there, and I was probably running 72 or something. Had cruise set, running down through there. 3 trucks were lined up, and was kind of going around them, and they were pretty tight together. I got up to the last truck, which was like a JB Hunt 360 owner operator guy, whatever, with an older Volvo that was like 6 different colors. I get up next to him, and I'm in front of him, and I put my signal on, and I look over, and I look back, and he's speeding up on me, so I can't get over. So by now, he's already, kind of halfway. He's coming back. He's about where my drives are. So I was like, there's really no way. I mean, as close as the other trucks were, I didn't want to slow down, really slow to cut them off. Because they didn't do anything. I don't want to cut somebody off like that. So I'm bobtailing, just hit the pedal, sped up a little bit more than what I thought I did. And as I was getting over, there was a state trooper sitting right by the exit. And I got off the exit, and he flipped it around there and kind of followed me off. And I'm not going to get in. I'm putting an attorney on it. The trial date for it's actually on the 10th here. So I won't be home for that. So I already talked to an attorney back there in Portage County, since I'm from that area, so it's local. So it's not like an out of state or something. So pretty easy to deal with. So I got, obviously I was going a little bit faster than 70. Fortunately he wasn't a commercial vehicle, the CSVA or whatever trained officer. So he didn't do an inspection or give me an inspection form or anything like that. It was just basically the standard citation that you would get in your personal vehicle. So there's no, for you guys that didn't know, there is a lot of misinformation. You don't get CSA points unless you actually get an inspection form, and it's actually a commercial vehicle trained officer has to do an inspection form, to actually put that citation on an inspection form to give you CSA points. Now, obviously, you will get points if that ticket sticks, or that citation that I got. If it does sticks, you can get points, on towards your license or your CDL, which isn't a good thing either. So like I said, got an attorney on it. He's pretty confident he can get it knocked down to like a headlight ticket and probably pay a bigger fine, but I just don't want those points on my license. And the passive aggressiveness is pretty frustrating. One of the more frustrating things that gets under my skin out here is guys that do that type of stuff. I mean, like I said, the guy was running like 65 mile an hour or so when I came around him. Then, like I said, I'm about to make the pass, and this guy wants to speed up to 75 mile an hour for some reason. So I don't. I don't get that behavior out here. I mean, it's I set my cruise and I drive, and if you want to go around me, then go around me. And if I don't, and some people just act like they cannot let it go. They got to be in front for some reason. I don't know. I don't get it. Like I said, I just mind my own business, and you know, try to avoid people for the most part. But it's getting harder and harder, and it seems like it's getting worse. And I notice it a lot. I mean, it's one thing with the four-wheelers, you know, the cars and the trucks, they do it all. About 75% of them, they want to play that game because half of them, they got their phone buried in their phone, their little toy that they can't put down, that they're addicted to. And so they slow way down, then they figure out, all this truck's passing me, so I got to speed up, you know, instead of just, if you don't want to pay attention to the road, then just sit there and keep doing your thing and leave me alone. But they just, they won't. So anyway, so we had that issue there. So we got this load is delivering tomorrow morning, the 3rd, dropping this off first thing. And then I got to sit here for about a day and a half, and I got a load going down to Louisiana that's paying pretty well, down the West Lake, Louisiana, right out of Portland or Vancouver. So it's like 10 miles away from where I'm delivering. So pretty close. Like I said, didn't really care for the layover time, but going back and looking, I mean, it's paying almost $2.90 a mile, you know, on a pretty good amount of miles. I mean, over halfway across the country. So I was just looking at the board again today, because I had that time there. I was actually looking for like a little short load, maybe run up to Seattle or something. And you know, if it paid $5-6 a mile, it would kind of justify me taking a load, you know, kind of wasting a day, then driving back empty. So if I could find something for, you know, $5 or $6 a mile, that would kind of put it, you know, in the $3 range round trip. You know, if I had just deadheaded back empty or something. So it maybe make $1,000 or something. So I was kind of watching that, but I did a search of everything, and I was looking at the whole board for everything coming out here, and I'm kind of glad I did get that load to Louisiana, because there's really not that much coming out of there right now. You know, I'm only looking 2 or 3 days out basically, but yeah, so I don't like to wait on the load a couple of days, but like I said, it's a good amount of miles and a pretty good rate per mile on that one, so we got that. Then I haven't got anything yet, but need to get back to Ohio out of Louisiana. So I got this agent that I have that load with. She actually, the customer in Westlake, Louisiana, is her customer, and they have freight coming out of there. So I'm kind of hoping they might be able to get me something right at the same place coming out around the same time and get me back up north. So that's kind of what we got going on with loads. I kind of wanted to do a follow-up. You know, a couple of weeks ago we were kind of looking at some kind of future plans, kind of what we're going to do. I was talking about the truck situation, whether I'm going to put some money into it or maybe buy another one, or I was looking at this the hot shot deal with Landstar. I've kind of decided against that, and it's not really, you know, I wanted to clarify on that hot shot stuff too. You know, I really wasn't looking at doing it as like a full-time kind of thing, where that's all I was going to do. Had some other little business ideas and stuff that truck and trailer would kind of work into. But just kind of looking at everything, you know, from 20,000 feet, I guess you could say, looking down on everything. I just don't. I was looking at some trucks, looking at some new F550s, like a cab and chassis, you know, like an extended cab or a four-door. I mean, and I was looking at about 60 to 70,000 for a new F550, something with a 19.5, you know, 1,000 GVW. You know, power stroke and all that. So, I mean, I was going to be in 60 to 70 for a new truck, and I'd still have to I'd probably put a flatbed and everything and a hitch and everything on it myself. I mean, time I did all that, I'd probably have another $5,000 in it, and got everything set up. And then looking at trailers, I mean, I'm probably going to be in 15 grand or so for a trailer. So next thing you know, you're in 80 to 90,000, and kind of looking at the economy and the way everything's going, and it looks like we're kind of getting into this inflation thing, which I mean, it's not really what we're about here at this channel, talking about financial stuff, but I don't know if Fuel prices going up. I don't know if you guys, anybody that does like home projects and stuff, if you guys have been to Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards or any of those big lumber yards, even Carter Lumbers, all those. I just did a cabinet delivery, and I was talking to one of the guys there about this. One of the employees at Carter Lumber when I was dropping off those cabinets here a couple weeks ago, and you used to be able to go in and buy 2x4s, kind of 2x4s, this stud grade 2x4x8s. For like $291 at Lowe's. I mean, I do a lot of stuff at home, you know, always building something, whatever. We was in there, my wife and I were in Lowe's the week before I left, and those same 2x4s now are like $619. A sheet of 7/16 OSB sheeting plywood used to be about $8. Now we're pushing $29 for a sheet of plywood. And they're talking. I've read some other stuff about this. They're kind of talking like the meat prices are going to start. The inflation's going to start kicking in on them, and that's you probably look for that stuff to start going up, and food prices and all that stuff. With all this money that they're just printing, all this, or they don't even have to print it anymore. I mean, they just create it, and it's going to catch up, and it looks like it's starting to creep in. I mean, they say with the lumber thing that is all its demand and all this stuff, but it don't make sense to me when something's going up, you know, especially like the OSB, when it's going up 4 or 5 times. I mean, maybe double or something like that. It just seems pretty extreme. And like I said, you see these commodities, the prices are getting really inflated. So that's got me a little bit concerned, and I just don't want to take on, you know, $80,000-$90,000 of debt, and then things start slowing down, and I'm stuck with that big payment. Because like with my current truck, I don't really have a lot left on this. It does need some work. I mean, I'm probably going to need a transmission here pretty soon. So, and we talked about doing an end frame, which if I keep the truck, I'll do that myself at home as well. So then I was looking at maybe buying another used truck, and you know, maybe something for $300,000-$500,000 on it. But my concern with that is that if I go about buy another truck, I mean, I already know what this truck is. I've already replaced everything. I know it's all its little quirks and tricks and everything else. So if I go buy something else, I think I'm going to be like pretty much starting from ground zero, like where I started with this truck when I got it. And then you just dump money into it. And then it takes you a while to figure things out, little problems and stuff like that. So I just don't think it's really smart to do that. And I know if you guys that have known me or watched me for a while, you know I won't buy a new truck. You know, just for a lot. It's just too. I don't want that huge payment. And I mean, it's nice to have a warranty, and yeah, you'd have a lot less maintenance costs. The one thing that gets in that I cannot accept is the FET, the federal excise tax. I believe it's an 11% tax. That's on all new trucks. I think 54,000 and above GVW, I believe. So basically any tractor that you're going to run out here pull and drive van, or you know, you're going to pay that FET. You know, and I cannot accept, you know, on a $140,000 truck, I can't accept, you know, $18,000 in tax just because I'm buying a new truck. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I mean, it's almost as if you're getting punished for buying a new piece of equipment. So that FET is a deal killer for me as far as a new trucks goes. I mean, that's a pill too big for me to swallow. So that's one of the reasons. I mean, then you're paying interest. I mean, if you finance that, like say you do have a $18,000 FET on top of, you know, say $150,000 truck, and then you have that FET, and then you're financing that, and then you're paying interest on the tax, you know. So unless you got a bunch of money to put down on one. So and I keep promising I'm going to talk about once the weather gets a little bit better at home, I'm going to get my truck all cleaned up, and we're going to do a video on kind of what to look for if you're buying a used truck. We're going to kind of go. I have to have my wife, my camera person, kind of follow me, help out with that, and we're going to pretty much go from bumper to bumper and go through the whole truck and show you what to look for and all that. But it's just, I know I've been promising it. But we'll get it out there eventually. I mean, we're into March now, so weather should be getting a little bit better, and we can get that done. But it's I've been in some nice places, you know, where the weather's been good by myself, but it's kind of one of those things where I'm gonna need somebody else to kind of follow me, and so I can be a little bit more detailed with that video. So we will get that out eventually. So if you're watching this video and it's not out yet, it'll be out soon, hopefully next month or so. So that's pretty much what we got going on. So long story, or short story long, I guess you could say. For the time being, I'm just going to stick with what I got here. I'm not going to buy anything else. I'm probably going to swap this transmission out maybe May or June or something once the weather breaks and I got some more concrete to lay in my big shop. We'll get the rest of that concreted here this spring when the weather warms up enough to pour a lot of concrete. So that way I can get this in there and we'll drop transmission out of it and put a new clutch in it and all that while we're at it. So yeah, the loads board's been pretty good. I've seen as many as 77,000 loads on there. Today, Monday, or actually it's Tuesday, we're down to like 55, 57,000. So, and the rates are going down, it seems like a little bit, and kind of the volume this week, anyways, seems to be a little bit less. I know California has kind of cooled off a lot. We were seeing those, 325, 350 a mile loads. When you'd see just hundreds of them on there, that's kind of slowed down a little bit out there. A lot of stuff's dropped down under the $3 mark. Like I said, up here, I grabbed up this load. I booked this load that I got going to Louisiana about 2 weeks out. So I'm booking everything on this trip. I've basically booked out 2 weeks or more, and I've got pretty good rates because I'm out that far. But like I said, I did a search today. Pretty much of everything on the board up there, and as far as long haul, there wasn't. There was some stuff going to Cheyenne and places like that paid pretty well, but it's a little bit trickier to get stuff out of those areas. So that's kind of what the load board's doing. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I'm kind of with future plans and all that. Like I said, we kind of Can-X the hot shot deal. Like I said, we're going to stay with it, keep this truck, and just do what we got to do with it. Hopefully I don't know how much longer I'm going to be running this in the same fashion that I am, as far as the same schedule and all that. But I am working on another kind of business plan we're kind of putting together, and I don't want to get into a lot of it yet until we kind of start getting things firmed up. Then we'll kind of talk about that. Like I said, I'm looking for a piece of property and stuff, but we'll talk about that another time once we kind of know where we're going with it. But yeah, the thing with this trucking is you always got to have a plan B. For me, I got a short little video I'm going to show on here. I don't do a lot of dash cam videos. I don't like putting that stuff out there basically for liability reasons, because you ever get in some type of trouble or incident or something and you got these lawyers and they find out you're on YouTube, they're going to get on there and they can go through pull all your videos and say and critique everything you do or use it against you, like, oh, you were tailgating, you in this video, you're tailgating this and this is how you drive. And so I don't put a lot of dash cam videos out there just for that simple fact, is I don't want I just don't want stuff used against me, something that might seem innocent. These attorneys and stuff, they could pick up on that and use it against you, or you got somebody calling Landstar trying to get you fired and for whatever, something stupid. So I just don't do a lot of it. But I was driving, bobtailing home after I dropped my trailer here. Actually, that load I picked up out of Pennsylvania. Actually, whenever I picked it up, and it was only 100 miles. So whenever I picked it up, came back home, then dropped my trailer up at Twinsburg, and then bobtailed back home. When I was getting off on my exit, because a lot of times I'll take the turnpike, like 5 miles up the road, and kind of bypass this town where there's a bunch of lights and stuff. So you'll see in the video, I got off, went through the little the toll booth thing. And the road kind of comes up and you can make a left, or it kind of splits. Then when it splits, it comes into 2 lanes. And another thing with dash cam videos, a lot of times I forget to take them off. I have stuff that I would like to share, but my dash cam only lasts like 2 days. So if I forget, it loops over if I forget it. But this actually set off an event, which it saves in a different file. That's the reason I still had this video. So anyways, I was going up the coming up after where the gate, you'll see the little gate opens, and I'm coming up, and I had this car. He wasn't even there. He was in one of the other. He came up in one of the other lanes, and I'm speeding up, and he just kind of, you'll see if you look over in my little my driver's side hood mirror up here in the video, you'll see it. You can see this guy. I mean, he is like trucking, like it. He is open for business. I mean, I don't know what the guy's problem was, but he for some reason had to get in front of me before that turn right there, because like I said, it splits. You got two lanes and it splits, and you'll see it. And this guy came this flying, came around me, then came over so hard he lost control. Basically, Ross lost control of his car, and you can see it. I mean, the video doesn't do quite quite as much. Doesn't really do what actually happened justice. I mean, if you, because you couldn't see like the smaller movements, but he came around me, cut me off, like after the white line, and he was going so fast that he actually lost control of the car momentarily, and then it kind of the whole back of the car, he hit a bump and the whole thing shook, and he was all the way, you'll see him, he's all the way over in the shoulder, trying to get control of it. I mean, and all because this guy, like, he had to get in front of me, had to get in front of the truck. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with these idiots. And the thing was, once you go back out, I mean, if he would have just got behind me and followed me, he could, once you get out, there's two lanes, he could have just came right around me. I mean, it would have been no big deal. But he almost wrecks his car, and then probably there would have been a chance that I would have got tangled up in his wreck because he had to get in front of me, you know. And then the guy goes up, you know, and you don't see this in the video because it's after the fact. He goes up and turns. He goes up and turns left. He's not even going the same. I mean, in a big hurry to go basically half a mile and cut me off. And I mean, this behavior, and kind of where I'm going with this is this. It frustrates me a lot. I mean, there's just no need for it. And the problem is, it's getting worse out here every day. It's this me. I'm first. I gotta be first. I gotta be front mentality. And I don't have any use for it out here, and it makes it really hard because, you know, we're out here working. You know, this is my workplace. This road is my workplace. I'm not out here to play games or anything. And you know, it's equivalent, like when people do stuff like this, or they get in front of you and slow down and keep screwing with you and playing games and all that. I mean, it's the equivalent to me walking into somebody's office and just, you know, every time they grab something, I'm just going to stop them, or I'm going to start just typing on their keyboard, you know, or just take a stack of papers and knock them off their desk. I mean, it's the same thing. Or go down a construction site and throw rocks at guys working. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, you're in my workspace and you're just screwing with me, giving me trouble when I'm trying to do a job, you know, safely and efficiently. So and like I said, I've noticed, and I've talked to some other people, and I'm not the only one. It seems like it's just getting worse every day. I don't know if with the COVID crap, if these people are just getting wound up and everything, they're just out here full of aggression, and I don't know, but it's getting old, and you know, my patience are running pretty thin with it. So. And again, kind of where I'm going with this, and a couple other things that I'm going to talk about, is that you really got to have a plan B for this trucking, to where when you can't do this anymore, you got to have something else you can get into. And I'm going to tell you, when you come into owner-operator trucking from a company driver position, trying to go, like if you decide it don't work out, trying to go back into a company job or any type of job, you know, where you're working for somebody else. I've already tried it once. It's because I left Landstar for a little while, and actually went and drove a flatbed for Lowe's for a summer for, I don't know, worked over there about 6 months, and then after that I got this truck and came back into owner-operator trucking. But it's extremely tough to be your own boss, especially like with Landstar, where you pick your own load, you do everything yourself, and nobody really bothers you. So you're pretty much out here alone, and you do what you want. So it's extremely tough to try to go back, you know, to a structured, you know, 9 to 5 type of job or whatever. You got bosses and all that, and they're telling you where to go and all that type of stuff. So. For me, I mean, I'm trying to set up another type of business. because it's already a proven fact I can't work for anybody. I mean, basically, I'm an independent person. I like to do my own thing. So pretty much the self-employment thing is about the only option for me. So I'm working on this other business idea, and I'm just trying to get something set up for when this ends. Um, because like I said, the roads get worse out here every day. You don't know what the economy is going to do. These trucks are expensive to maintain. Two, and the other three factors you guys have to consider is that this job is dependent on health. If you can't pass a medical exam, you're not going to be driving trucks anymore. So those things, some of those things are out of your control. You don't have any control over, some health aspects. I mean, to an extent. I mean, how you eat and take care of yourself and all that. But you never know what's going to happen. I mean, you could lose an eye or something, and if you don't have both eyes, and you can't have a CDL. So you just never know what can happen in life, and if you lose that medical card, you're not driving interstate anymore. I think you can still drive interstate, in-state without a medical card for an exemption, but yeah, if you like I said that medical card, if you lose that for some reason, that can pretty much end this career for you. Two is legal stuff. I mean, you get in trouble, with the law or something. You could lose your CDL or nobody will hire you. A lot of companies, if you've had over two tickets or violations in 3 years, I mean, they'll fire you or they won't hire you. So, for me, Landstar is pretty much the end of the road. So, I mean, if I was to get, my contract canceled here, I don't really know where I would go. I mean, I think it'd pretty much be the end of this for me because I like it here. And I'm just not, I've been to a lot of other places, and I'm just not interested in going back anywhere, and not really interested in going anywhere else. I just like it here and like what I do, and like the Landstar system and all that. So, and the only other option I would have would be to get my own authority. And I've touched on this a little bit, and I really don't have any interest in getting my own authority. I don't want to buy a trailer. It's enough maintenance to deal with the truck itself. I don't want to have to worry about a trailer. I mean, I've had 3 tires put on this Landstar trailer here in the last week. And they were all road calls. So I just had 2 replaced this morning. So I mean, that was probably total for the 3 road calls was probably $1,200-$1,500 for this, to get the 3 tires fixed. And plus, I mean, you got the cost of buying a trailer, then like I said, maintaining it. So it's just not something I want to do. And then like I said, getting your own authority, the amount of fixed costs that you have, I mean, I would probably be, just with my insurance and all that, and I'd probably be $2,000 a month. And I just don't want that hanging over me every month. If I don't want, like, the thing I like about Landstar, it comes out about the same. I mean, the only difference is I'm paying as I go. If I don't run, I'm not paying those percentages. So if I sit at home, it don't really cost me anything. Whereas if I had my own authority, these expenses are racking up. It doesn't matter if I'm at home or driving. They're coming every month, and I don't really want that pressure on. So that's why I'm not really interested in getting my own authority. And on top of that, which I'm going to do a video on this at some point and lay all this out on paper, and kind of break it down like a percentage thing, like a Landstar or a Mercer or wherever, versus getting your own authority, and you can kind of look at it and see what the actual numbers are. So and the other thing I said with your own authority, you don't get no discounts on fuel or tires or any of that stuff, or insurance or I mean, you might be able to get a wide fuel card and get 10 cents or something, but you're not going to be getting 50, 60 cent discounts like you get at a Landstar, Mercer, or whatever. And you're not going to get pretty good tire. I mean, a lot of tires. I mean, I'm getting $200 off some tires with Landstar discounts. So you've got that, and the other thing you got to consider, if you get your own authority, you're going to be working with multiple brokers, and these people don't pay you after you deliver the load. I mean, most of these places are 30 to 60 days out where you're waiting on your money. Then you got, some of them you got to chase after, and you got to have somebody on the payroll basically just to get your money, or you got to go to somebody that does factoring, and factoring can be anywhere from 2, 3 to 7 or 8%. that they take off. So I mean, you're losing that right up. Like some guys say, oh, I'm going to get 85% of the loads. Well, I mean, if you're paying for factoring, say 5%, I mean, you're already down to, you know, to 80 or 75 or whatever just for factoring, just so you can get your money every week instead of having to track people down and, you know, either wait 30 or 60 days or not get paid at all. I know my dad, when my dad was on authority, he had, you know, some people that went out 90 days and still had, you couldn't get, they wouldn't pay them. So it's, I just don't want to deal with all that. So, like I said, the other thing we talked about health, CDL, and you know, your license with legal stuff. Even like Steve with the legal stuff, if you're divorced, child support stuff, I mean, they can even suspend your license for that type, for child support type of stuff and other things like that. So it's a very complicated. This trucking's very complicated because there's a lot of other things that can interfere that can put you out of business or out of work. The last thing is family, and this kind of hits home for me, is that you know, your family situation changes, and you might not be able to be out here on the road all the time. And I know I've never done real well with local stuff. I mean, I don't like going, when I go out, I like to go out and do what I got to do, and then come back in and take, you know, 2 weeks off. I don't like doing this going out every day. I mean, it's like too much like a regular job, and I don't really care for that. So the local thing is not a big. I mean, I'm probably always gonna stay in trucking, but just not as intense as you know, as much as I'm running now. I mean, I'll probably, you know, run a low road here or there, just a little, some little regional stuff. But as far as in the current form that I'm in, I'm kind of looking to jump into something else, you know, to downsize and get into something else. So I guess the moral of the story is, guys, is that like I said, once you jump into this owner operator thing, it's really hard to go back to a regular job if you decided, if it doesn't work out, or you decide it ain't going to work out. It's I mean, after you've been doing it for a while, when you can do whatever you want, it's tricky to go back to working for somebody. And two, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in life. You know, you could anything can happen with your health or legal situations or family situations, and you can't do this anymore or do it as much or to a certain extent as you're doing it. So there's just things to consider, is that, you know, you always kind of be thinking about the next thing, or okay, what if this don't work out anymore, or I can't you know, drive anymore, what am I going to do? And that's what I've been looking at for the last couple of years. You know, that's why I've been kind of investing my money from trucking into the farm stuff and all that, and paying stuff off, and you know, just trying to get a little bit more independent, financially independent and all that. So like I said, you just really need to be thinking about the next thing, because this might not always work for you. So just keep that stuff in mind. So I'll go ahead and show you that little video. I'm gonna sign off here. Then I'll show you that little video clip from the dash cam of this moron. And like I said, I don't get it. So I'll just go ahead and leave it at that, and we'll show that little clip on the end of this. And I hope you all enjoy it. But again, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, you know, give us a thumbs up, and, you know, subscribe if you haven't already, if you're new, you know, and leave comments and all that. You know, we appreciate all the nice stuff out there, and all the support. So you guys always be watching out. You guys always know I'm doing the Landstar stuff, owner operator stuff, truck maintenance stuff all the time, farming stuff, you know, farm equipment, tractors. We're always working on that type of stuff too. So you know, and I was going to say too, like I know a lot of the trucking people, you guys probably don't, I know a lot of you guys that I talk to don't really watch the farm and stuff, but you know, if some of the other, the farm equipment maintenance stuff I do, you know, you might find some good, when I'm working on stuff, a lot of the same techniques and thought process is kind of the same, a lot of times is you know, it's the same stuff, you know, when you're working on a truck. So there might be some things, some tips and stuff, if you check out those, like the farm equipment I'm working on, tractors and stuff. I mean, there might be some stuff in there that you might be able to take away and use to work on your truck or trailer or whatever else you have too. So just don't discount those always as there's nothing there for you, because there's little things in there that might help you out as well. So check those out. But again, like I said, appreciate everything. We'll see y'all next time. So we'll roll that little clip there. And again, thanks for watching.